Hi, Todd Rosenbluth here at Inside ETFs, Inside Smart Beta conference here in New York. What's exciting about this conference is we're going to talk with many of these industry experts about their new products, what makes them unique, and key drivers in the industry. I'm here with John Swalls. John, it's a great conference. Thanks for having us here.
Thanks for coming, Todd.
So we've seen the growth in the ETF industry quite strong. What are some key takeaways for you as you were putting together the conference?
Yeah, I think when you look at the smart beta space, Todd, what we're seeing a lot more now is there's an acceptance of the theory behind it and the academics behind it, and that it makes sense now from an investment approach. What we're struggling with, or what we think advisors are struggling with right now from our research, is that implementation factor of it, right? And how do I go ahead and implement that? So I think if you look at our agenda throughout the 2 days, it talks more about solving client issues with smart beta, how to use it in a downturn, where does it fit in my portfolio? Those are things that people are struggling with when they think about smart beta, and that's what we wanted to help address with some education today.
Yeah, and advisor education is certainly key. You know, that's something that we at CFRA are focused on, looking at what's inside the portfolio and the costs. But I think advisors are still getting up to speed. They know market cap, but they're still getting to know their differences between smart beta products.
Yeah, absolutely, and you need to. I think what you have to look at is understand how they're constructed, what that means, how do they work together, and all that's going to take a lot of time and a lot of energy and resources to figure out. So what we try to do here is distill it down into a day, right? Let them kind of come in and cram like they're studying for their finals and get a lot of that baseline knowledge that they need for them to go out and kind of dig deeper into is that interest them and what they think will work for their client's portfolio.
And what we've seen in recent years is some larger asset managers have entered the ETF marketplace using smart beta products. It's their conduit into competing with some of the larger players.
Right, well, one of the things you want to look at, right, is where you're going to enter the marketplace. State Street, iShares, Vanguard, a lot of passive products there, a lot of assets earmarked to them already. So if you want to differentiate yourself, you got to come in with a new approach. And these smart beta tools are real tools that can actually be beneficial. So it's not just a me too approach. I think when you look at them, they're all doing them a little bit different. They're all being smart about how they enter the market. But you do need the resources and the big kind of asset manager behind you to get these things out there, and that's why I think you see the larger players coming to the space, the Goldman Sachs, the JP Morgans, the Franklin Templetons, these traditional active shops. They have the means in-house already to start to roll out these products, and these things aren't necessarily new strategies for them. They just haven't been wrapped in an ETF before, and this is a great way for them to enter that space and still demonstrate their expertise in the market.
And then what we've also seen is a day 2 of this conference that's focusing on actively managed ETFs. That's not an oxymoron at all. There's some good products that are out there.
Yeah, there are, and I think when I first thought about that, I was such a passive ETFs guy, but more and more I understand that investors like the idea of active, what it can do, and I'm really interested to see if you lower that fee hurdle on an active manager and he now only has to outperform by 15 or 20 basis points, does active management start to have a real place in a portfolio and provide real value, right? It's a lot harder to outperform the market by 150 basis points or 115 basis points, a lot easier at 20, so I think they could add a lot of real value to client portfolios now with that lower fee structure, and then again you have the efficiency of the ETF wrapper, which makes active a new game to look at.
Yeah, and you've got Vanguard, you've got Davis, you've got some key players that are in the traditional actively managed space that have now entered and they're part of the conference as well.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you'll see more and more people come into that active ETF space, but yeah, it's definitely a growing segment, and that's why we wanted to address it in a half-day format, is kind of get everybody, again, kind of get them the basic knowledge that they need on what these products are. I think we kicked the day off with some regulation. So there's still some concerns there, but we do want to address kind of everything soup to nuts there. What is the regulation? What does it look like? How do I access these products? And what makes them kind of different from your traditional ETF?
That's great. Well, thanks a lot, John, for making time with us. Great to be here at Inside Smart Beta with everybody.
Thanks for the time, Todd.
Thanks a lot.